Welcome everybody to the Kane Shannon Weiler Employment and Labor Group. My name is Michael Weiler. I want to introduce Chris Drinoff. Chris is the head of our group, and I was pleased to join the group in October 2019. Chris, I understand, especially with COVID, there are a lot of changes to the Employment Standards Act. Now, can you explain how we service our clients, whether they be employees or most often employers in the case of employment standards? What's kind of happening in that area, and what can they expect from us in terms of the advice we're giving and the updates, et cetera?
Yeah, so with the current government, there's been some significant amendments to the key pieces of legislation that govern employment law in the workplace. And one of those key pieces of legislation is the Employment Standards Act. So that's it's a statute that sets kind of the minimum standards for employees in the province of British Columbia. And we've seen some key changes to the Employment Standards Act, which first came in 2019, but more significantly and most recently, changes due to COVID-19. And one of those changes was COVID-19 related leave that was created. And basically it's a job protected leave that acts similar to a maternity leave, where if an employee is affected by COVID in a particular way, for example, if they've been diagnosed, if they're dealing with a family member or taking care of a child because of COVID, or if they've been ordered to stay home by health authorities or their employer, their job is protected. They can't be terminated, and if they are terminated, they can be reinstated. And so that's one of the protections that the government has added to the Employment Standards Act, and it's something that we are very mindful of when we're advising both employers and employees who are looking at terminations.
And the recent discussion has been on the issue of severance pay, because the Employment Standards Act provides for really minimal severance pay, up to a maximum of 8 weeks after 8 years of employment. But there's also a section that deals with if you terminate more than 50 people within a period of time, you can also get group termination. So the severance pay can really add up. So we found that the one thing out of COVID, instead of having in-person seminars, we're doing more and more webinars. Because we think if employers, and especially the HR managers or the CEOs or whatever, can understand the landscape of a general area without drilling down, they may start to see how they can organize their affairs better to avoid the problem. The thing is, if you go to webinars, you may find a way to avoid phoning us when you've got a real problem. And so we're going to continue to do that, because we think coming out of COVID, there will be a lot of activities. So check us out. We'll be putting that on our website and letting you know what's available. Any questions, you give us a call. We'd be pleased to chat with you.